It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio today. We're sitting down with Be Connected. Website is beconnectedaz.org. I'm going to mention this stuff more than once. Phone number is 1-866-429-8387. Assistant Director of Programs Kellyanne Wilde in studio. Welcome to studio. And Be Connected Community Coordinator Courtney Smythe. Welcome to studio. We've had about, an hour to talk, haven't we?
We have,
to chit-chat and find out who you guys are. So both of you are veterans, and that's what Be Connected is all about, but not just veterans. And we're going to get into that as well. All right. So let's do the website again. BeConnectedAZ.org. Phone number is 1-866-429-8387. And as you know, I'll talk about that before and after breaks throughout the show. So let's get into it. What is Be Connected?
So Be Connected is a program that makes it easy for service members, veterans, their family members, or anybody helping the military veteran population to get to resources. So for example, if you have a neighbor that's struggling with something, even if they're talking to you and they're a veteran and they say, hey, I'm thinking about going back to school, I just got out of the military, you could call in to Be Connected and find out what resources you have available to you and what different certification programs are throughout the state. Really, truly anything you can call the line for. And that line is operated from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We have four members that are support line staff members right now with the team. They all have a military veteran connection. They are a really passionate group. Everybody.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes
they're just inspiring when you just talk to them. Like it's great.
Some people want to call into the line just to talk to them, and they have to tell them like, hey, we really enjoyed talking to you, but we've got to go so we can talk to other people too.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be pretty nice for them though, right?
Yeah.
To have that kind of
course.
acknowledgement. Yeah, that's really cool. Can you guys talk about how Be Connected came about and how long it's been around?
Sure, yeah. So we work with the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, and the coalition has been around for 10 years now. We just had our 10 year in August of last year. So really 10 and a half years.
Yeah.
And what happened was we had our director went around and did a needs assessment for the state and tried to see what resources are within Arizona, where are the gaps in resources. And one of the things that they realized is there's resources available, but there might be a resource down the street that doesn't know about another resource down the street, and they could work together. So one of the things that we did is try to pull them all together in one centralized location. So if you're trying to look for a resource, instead of Googling that, where you get a million, if you're looking for help with post-traumatic stress, for example, you can put that in and you'll get a million different things that come up, and it won't necessarily just be within the state of Arizona. So what we looked at doing was pulling together one centralized location to be able to find those resources all throughout the state of Arizona. So really the first 7 years was going around the state and collecting all the resources and organizations, because the interesting thing about being a service member, veteran, or family member is that you can utilize resources that are available to the civilian population, but then you have this whole other pool of resources available too because of your service. So that's one of the things that we wanted to make it so that it's easy to find those. So by pulling those together, we also vet the organizations to make sure they're doing the best by service members, veterans, and their families, because unfortunately there were some organizations that were predatory, saying, oh yeah, you can come in and do this for free, and then people would get a bill in the mail.
Okay.
So we also help different organizations that are trying to help that population know which resources they can use to
Which ones are going to actually help them and not harm them instead.
Or we help with organizations that say, we want to help this population, but we don't know anything about service members or veterans. So what do we need to know to serve this population? So
wow. Okay. So that's probably helped considerably then, right?
Yeah, and we go in.
So even you're saying even some of your resources that you have will contact you guys and say, hey, we're not real familiar with how this works. Can you help us with that? So it's not just the veterans and their families either. Sometimes it's the resources themselves saying, okay, we've got this situation going on. How can we help with this? And maybe they're not the right resource for that for that problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we really wanted to create was what we call a no wrong door, no wrong person approach. So by having the Be Connected program, say for example, somebody comes into an organization and that organization can't serve them. So they say, sorry, maybe you don't qualify here. Instead of just giving that no, they can say, you don't qualify here, but call this Be Connected line and see if there's other resources that are available to you.
Don't you just that is the worst thing to have happen to you. And I've had, just being the news director for the stations, where you get a press release, I'll get a press release, and it's like, for more information, contact this person. You call them and say, well, I'm not really the one to talk about that. Let me give you I'm going to put a message to this person. And you're like, okay,
and that
no.
just gets frustrating.
Eventually you're like, well, you know what? Nobody wants to help me with this, so I'm just going to skip it and move on to something else. And we don't want that happening to our veterans. No, we don't.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that we've heard, the feedback that we've heard from the Be Connected program, is people say, it gave me hope. Like, I kept feeling like I was going places where, it's difficult for anybody to say that they, need help. But when you finally take that step to go ask for help and you're told, oh, you can't visit here. And you start feeling that hopelessness.
It's much better to have somebody say, you know what, we're probably not going to be able to help you too much, but let me help you find somebody who can. And is that how it kind of happens? So that one resource will actually contact another resource for them? Or do they get back with Be Connected and then you guys get them to the right person?
It goes either way. Whether because one of the things we like to do too is we go and we help these different organizations come together, and so they know what each other does. So whether it's this veteran is at this organization, they need help with A, B, and C, but this organization can only give them A and B, they'll be like, well, I know that this organization can help you out with C, or maybe they don't know, and then they would call Be Connected. So it's really just whatever they need to get to being able to solve what's going on.
Has it caught on? Is Be Connected getting caught on?
It has, yes. Yeah. So at this point, we've fielded over 16,000 calls, and we launched it just about 2.5 years ago.
In Arizona?
Yes.
Okay. Are there Be Connected in other states, or is this is a grassroots? You guys were telling me before the show that this is an Arizona kind of thing.
It is.
Right?
It's an Arizona thing. We're actually a nationally recognized program for what we do. So we do consult other states in what we're doing here in Arizona.
Well, that's good to hear, right?
Yes, but there isn't another state that's doing exactly what we are with Be Connected at this point.
Okay, but they're reaching out.
They are.
If you're nationally recognized, that means they're going to come to you and say, okay, what are you guys doing, and how's it working for you?
Exactly, and we're always happy to help. I mean, that's one thing that we do too. So we actually just had people from Washington come in. We've had people from Virginia ask us what we're doing, and we want this program to be in other states too. So we're always happy to help and talk with people about it.
I would think this should be in every state, not just states that have military bases, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
it can be in every.
I mean, it's a no-brainer kind of because there's military bases in some of these states that you mentioned, but it should be nationwide across all of the states.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that we really see is one of the things that I think why Be Connected is so helpful is that we actually travel to the other communities and see what people are doing within their community, because each community has their own feel, they have their own way about doing things. Really what we do is help them with what they're already doing and connect them with the other organizations throughout the state. But I think that's a really important piece of it, is seeing what works in what areas of the state.
Okay, all right, let's take our first break. Be Connected, it's beconnectedaz.org. Beconnectedaz.org is the website. The phone number is 1-866-429-8387. You said that's 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Okay, and then this is Assistant Director of Programs, Kellyanne Wilde, and Be Connected Community Coordinator, Courtney Smythe. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the Valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're sitting down with Be Connected today. Kellyanne Wilde and Courtney Smythe in studio. The website is beconnectedaz.org. Beconnectedaz.org. Phone number, again, is 1-866-429-8387. It wouldn't hurt just to call the number and find out if they can get some help. Let's talk about that. So if I call this phone number, what's going to happen?
So you're going to call the number. One of our support line staff will answer the phone.
Those really amazing, nice
Yes.
support
Yes.
line. Okay.
Yes. One of them is a Navy vet, so me and him, we're cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they'll call, they'll get whatever resources that they need to get connected to. One of the cool things about it too is, you go on Google and you find a resource and then you get to the point where you're like, all right, this is going to work for me, and then you realize I'm not eligible for it. They kind of take all the legwork out of that for you, and they'll be able to get you to the resource that you need and that you're eligible for. Then if it's a case that maybe just a little bit more difficult, maybe needs a little bit more hands-on, we have Be Connected navigators, and those are statewide, and it's their full-time job, and they will go and they will help that veteran or the client, family member, service member, whoever it is, get from point A to point B to point C, which is really cool because they can work with them for a long time, as long as they need it. We had one up in the Mojave County, and the veteran, he'd been working with him for a couple of months. There was some damage to their roof, and the navigator was able to get someone to donate the tools, someone to donate their time, someone to pay for some of the different things that were needed, and they got his roof fixed.
Oh, wow, that's great.
He's a Vietnam-era veteran, retired, just needed someone to help him.
Save the day right there for that guy, right?
Yeah, and they were able to get all those things for him, and now their roof is good. And
that is really nice. Yeah, and it just took a phone call, right? Now let me ask you this, and maybe we should make it a point. This is not just service members. And we talked about this before the show too. If I have a service member living next door to me, and I see that they may be having some struggles and stuff, I could call this number as well and say, hey, I've got this service member. He was in the Army. He obviously looks like, or she looks like they're having some trouble. Is there anything I can do? And maybe they can guide me to help that person. Is that possible?
Yes. So we really look at the Be Connected program too. Also, we call it almost like being able to call in reinforcements. Like if you're helping a service member, veteran, or family member through something, and you kind of feel like, I just don't know maybe how to approach this situation or how to talk about this, you can even call Be Connected, and they'll help walk you through it, and then let you know the different resources that are available too. We've had situations even with art programs. We had an art program, and they had an event where they had food there, and they said one of the veterans that was taking the art program, they noticed was putting a bunch of food into their backpack when they were leaving, and thought maybe this is a homeless veteran. So they called in and said, how do we approach that? You see that it's happening, but what's the best way to approach that? So we were able to walk them through and say, just go up and let them know, hey, we always have food here, you're always welcome here, kind of build that rapport, and then they'll be able to talk about it. Later, they ended up talking to their teaching instructor in one of the classes about how they were homeless, and that instructor was able to call the Be Connected line and get them housing.
Oh, see, that's just amazing. We need more of that. A lot more of that, right?
Yeah.
With that too is we go into all the different organizations around the state and just to open to the community too, and we do a lot of training on Be Connected, what it is, how you can use it in your everyday life, and then also we do a military veteran culture training with that as well. So those instructors, they've had the Be Connected training, so they knew that they could go to Be Connected and make that phone call and all of that stuff as well too.
Oh, wow.
And we've had some incredible success stories just from people that they don't have a military connection or affiliation at all, but they've heard about Be Connected. So even in these trainings that we provide, like in particular our Military Veteran Resource Navigator training, it's open to the public, it's no cost, and what we really do is talk about military veteran culture and then how to utilize the Be Connected program. So we almost look at it like a CPR training, where you take it so that if you encounter a situation, you'd know what to do. So it's really like if you ever encountered a service member, veteran, or family member, you'd be able to know, oh, this is where I can guide them to. So we've had professors within colleges say, I don't have a military affiliation, but I had a veteran student come up to me and ask me for help. I was like, I'm not sure what to do, but they said after taking one of our navigator trainings, they were like, I know exactly what I could do in that situation. So it wasn't a missed opportunity when somebody came up to ask for help. The other thing I'll say too about the line is it doesn't necessarily need to, you don't have to call if you need help or support. You can also just say, hey, I just moved to Arizona and I'm trying to look at veteran groups or I want to volunteer. You can call to find out what events are going on in the state, what volunteer opportunities there are for you. If you're wanting to put on an event or find a group that does something that you like to do, we help with that also.
That's really perfect.
So it's literally like
it really is perfect.
Anything, the whole spectrum. You can call for whatever it is and whatever.
It doesn't have to be a crisis.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a crisis. Anything like that. It can be. It's just a good thing. Hey, I'm looking to hook up with people I may have served with.
Exactly.
And or similar people like me.
Right. And the other piece is if they do need to call in for a crisis, because it's housed within the crisis response network, they're actually able to roll into a crisis line. So we can handle that if that is a situation that happens too. And if somebody calls after 5 p.m. or they don't get in touch with somebody when they call the first time, we return those voicemails within 1 business day.
Okay.
So they will hear back quickly.
I was going to ask that too. Yeah. Okay. If I have a situation over the weekend or something, and most things are closed on the weekend anyways, I could just leave a message and then you guys will get back to me probably on Monday.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. How many people make up Be Connected? Do you have an office, or is it really just web-based and a phone line?
Yeah, so we have the phone line, we have the web-based, so we have 4 support line staff members right now, but what we do is we look at how many phone calls are coming in, and then we can expand that support line if needed to. And right now we have 8 Be Connected navigators throughout the state. So we have 3, we're hiring for a position within Central Arizona, but we have 3 within Central. We have 1 in Yuma, 1 in Prescott, Flagstaff, Mojave, and Tucson.
Okay, so you got across the state.
We do.
And we go anywhere.
We do.
Yeah.
We make sure that all corners of the state are covered.
Yes, people will ask us, oh, you do trainings at no cost, would you come too? And before they're finished with the sentence, we're like, yes. Because we will.
That's so nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Be Connected that I think is what's extremely helpful is it really is a needs assessment for the entire state too. So we're tracking what people are calling in for, so that, okay, if people are utilizing these resources, that's good to know, and we need to see what people are needing within the state of Arizona. If there's any gaps where people are calling in from a certain area and they don't have a resource there, we can actually look into that too and try to figure out how to problem solve as a state on how we can resolve that situation, since there is a gap for that resource.
You mentioned before the show that when you come to the rural areas, like I guess we're considered rural, Cottonwood, Prescott, Flagstaff area, is that transportation seems to be one of the trickiest things to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's something we're looking at right now, and we actually have, we're going to be having an event in March that's actually going to be bringing people in throughout the entire state to kind of talk about that and how we can solve some of those issues. And that's really where it comes to it takes going to those rural areas and seeing exactly what they need. So for what might work here in Cottonwood could be completely different for what works in Concho Valley. So it's really going into those areas and seeing what do you need and how can we help. So that we don't just say, oh, what every rural area needs is this program. Well, that might work here in Cottonwood, but maybe Concho Valley wants to do it a different way. So it is really looking at what those communities need.
So you guys are pretty flexible too then?
Absolutely.
You say yes and you're flexible, and it doesn't have to be a crisis, it could be a good thing.
Exactly.
Just across the board. We can take another break. Website again is beconnectedaz.org. Beconnectedaz.org. Phone number is 1-866-429-8387. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Shui artistry, the oldest form of development planning, today known as the art of placement. For 26 years, master feng shui educator, practitioner, artist, and author Caroline Patrick Bournet has used ancient rules of environmental, physical, and spiritual harmony to support clients' health, knowledge, creativity, and success. In mapping your home, you'll understand yourself. Better living is the gift of a lifetime. Change your life one room at a time. Schedule your Home Therapy 101 consultation today.
Show your customers how much they matter to you. Follow up with a real card in just 60 seconds with Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards makes it easy for busy professionals to leave a memorable impression. Stay in touch with a simple one-step process from your phone or computer to their mailbox. Call Judy today at 928-202-2557. That's 928-202-2557.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain-relieving salves, full-spectrum oils, honeys, teas, cookies, and even CBD for pets. Ready to feel fantastic? Come on by CBD Sedona today.
Metaphysics. What does it mean? It's a branch of philosophy, literally beyond the science of matter. Sedona's University of Metaphysics studies the ultimate nature of existence, reality, and experience. Join 14,000 graduates in over 120 countries, helping others in counseling, coaching, ministry, and much more. The University of Metaphysics is here to serve the best in you so you can serve the best in others. universityofmetaphysics.com.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're going to cram a bunch of stuff in the last few minutes here. We were just talking about the training. How does somebody go about becoming trained for this sort of thing?
So we do trainings all throughout the state, and you can see our Navigator training schedule on beconnectedaz.org under the Learn tab. Okay. So that's a way that, and we do them all throughout the state.
Okay.
So.
We do. And we even have one coming up in Prescott on February 27th at the Prescott Library from 9:30 to 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then the other thing is if anybody wants a training here in Cottonwood, give us a call and we will schedule it. We would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any excuse to come back to Cottonwood.
Yeah, okay.
I'm all about it.
Any city or town that doesn't have something like this going on should actually get this going. Okay. Now, there's a Be Connected Roadshow as well. There's something coming up in Yavapai County on February 11th. Tell me about that, too.
Yes. So at our Be Connected anniversary 10-year event that we had in August, they launched the Be Connected Roadshow, and one of the things with that is we have all these what we call Be Connected communities throughout the entire state, and so we're going to those communities and doing what we call a launch event to really let everyone know that Be Connected is there. We want to recognize people that are in that community doing great things in the veteran and service member area, and just make it so that everyone kind of comes together and really sees what's going on. So our Yavapai launch event will be on February 11th at the Yavapai Community College in Prescott.
Okay. That'll be from 10 to 2.
Yes.
And do I have to call or anything? Just show up?
That'll be a show-up event.
Show-up event. All right. Show up and learn more about Be Connected. Because like you said, you've been around for a decade now, so it's kind of funny. You could be around for 10 years and nobody knows you even exist. And so we found out about you guys when we were doing Toys for Tots. And they said, we've got this program called Be Connected in the state. Would you guys be interested in doing it? I said, of course. If it's for the veterans, yeah, let's get them in. And so that was great. And I should reiterate, this is not just for veterans. This is veterans' family members as well, right?
And service members.
And
so
service members. So, so it is more than just veterans.
And I think the service member piece is really important too, because sometimes when you're still serving, you might be nervous to ask for resources because you're worried if that's going to affect a promotion that's coming up or maybe a deployment that you want to go on. So being able to call the Be Connected line, if you don't want to answer questions and say who you are, it can be anonymous if you want to.
It can be as anonymous as you want it to.
Okay, so that's a good point to make too. Anonymous is some people's best friend. Volunteers, do you take volunteers?
We do take volunteers. So really one of the things that we do is we'll take events that are happening all throughout the state, and sometimes different organizations will say, hey, we're putting on this event and we need volunteers. So what we do is we're able to link people that are interested in volunteering up to those volunteer opportunities as well too. So even on the web-based platform that we have that has all the resources, so even if you don't want to call the support line, you can go to the web-based platform, which is on beconnectedaz.org. You can actually create a profile and it'll automatically match you to the resources that you qualify for. Or if you're interested in events and volunteer opportunities, it will match you to the ones within your area or whatever area you're interested in helping.
You guys have really thought about everything then, huh?
Yeah, we try. Well, and I'll say too, it's not just us. I think that's why Be Connected works. When we say Be Connected, we mean it's all the various partners that we have. It's the Be Connected communities that we work with. It's really making sure that instead of people working in silos, we're working all together as a state. So it really is, it's the voices and the opinions and problem solving of everybody within the state, which is really making it so that it works.
Sometimes that's what it takes to make it work. We're out of time. Phone number again, 1-866-429-8387. The website again is beconnectedaz.org. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. We'll have to have you come back.
Yeah, we'll
right?
be happy to.
Yeah, like you said, anytime you can be in Cottonwood.
Yes.
As always, we thank you for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.